boy picked up a gun and aimed at the bus coming from far away. He thought his father was fooled and the gun didn't work. Then his brother grabbed it and pulled out the shell and aimed at the bus with the same gun. His brother was also sure that the gun didn't have a 3-kilometer range at all. But after a while, the bus suddenly stopped and the two boys ran away quickly. They knew something was probably going on. And just a few seconds ago, the bullet penetrated the glass and hit Susan's neck not far away. The husband quickly inquired about the situation. Susan kept bleeding. That's when he found that she was shot. The people on the bus thought they met terrorists. In order to rescue Susan quickly, they came to the nearby village. Richard held his wife full of blood and went to the tour guide's house with him. He kept comforting his wife and asked the old man to help suppress the wound. He needed to call the embassy for help as soon as possible. At this time, the passengers who were on the same flight stopped him and hoped that they could leave here quickly because there was a similar town in Egypt where 32 tourists were killed. Everyone was worried that something like this would happen. The tour guide kept explaining that there were no terrorists here, but who could believe it? Richard didn't want to talk to them. All he wanted was to call the international phone to ask for help. The tour guide found the only doctor here. The doctor is a famous vet, but he is very professional. If he didn't do anything, Susan would die of blood loss. The doctor's words haven't been passed on to Richard by the tour guide yet. He has started to prepare a long needle as a surgical tool. Although the doctor is not white-clothed, he is an angel. He knew that he had to quickly sew the wound and tie it up so that the woman could live. Richard thought about it and knew that he had to do this. So after comforting his wife, the two of them held him tight. Without anesthetic, the vet started to sew the needle. The passengers were injured. Susan was delaying everyone's time. They were more worried about the terrorists. They wanted to leave first. Richard could only beg them to wait a little longer because the ambulance might arrive at any time. The driver decided to give them another 30 minutes. But as soon as a police car arrived, the news was that there was no ambulance to come here. And it was the Americans who stopped the ambulance. They were going to send a helicopter to fly over. But there was another problem. Richard was furious and went to call the embassy. This time, the driver and the passenger stopped him again. Because it's getting dark, it's dangerous here. This time, Richard, who was angry, fought with the driver. Richard's unloved wife. And this group of people are worried about the terrorists. If you leave, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Richard called the embassy, but his country has already magnified this matter. Now all the news is reporting on this matter. At this time, except for the two of them, while Richard was on the phone, he drove a bus out of this town. A country, a human, ugly, seriously injured wife. Richard is in trouble. Richard and his wife came to Morocco for a trip. It's because of the marriage crisis. They took this trip to leave their 2 children for a short time. They wanted to resolve their differences on the way, but they met an accident. But in this life and death calamity, the couple were no longer in charge. They said goodbye to each other. They apologized to each other, kissed each other, and asked each other for forgiveness. Love to the end. Love to this place. The helicopter finally arrived. Under the attention of the townspeople, the plane slowly landed. Susan and her husband got on the plane. They were saved. The tour guide refused Richard's heavy thanks. They were very enthusiastic. They just hoped that Susan could get treatment soon. Reborn. Susan, who came to the hospital, immediately entered the operating room. The doctor said there would still be life-threatening. Richard, who was uncomfortable, called his housekeeper Amelia. He wanted to hear the voice of his son and daughter. When the children talked about the story of the school, Richard wept bitterly. He can't hold it anymore, and the butterfly effect caused by this gun has just begun. The Moroccan police launched a large-scale attack. They must find the shooter. The 2 shooters hit the bus. The American tourist inside was shot. So what will happen to the 2 children? Let's go back to the beginning. The father bought 2 sons a gun. He can kill the firewood wolf when he shoots them. The 2 brothers tried it separately. The boss was full of energy, but it seems that he missed 800 meters. Then the second brother happily picked up the gun. Obviously, he was stronger than his brother. That's it. The 2 children took the gun to shoot the sheep. The younger brother found the firewood wolf, but the older brother was scared to the sheep group and scared away the firewood wolf. The seller said the range of this gun was 3 kilometers, but the older brother didn't believe it. So the 2 brothers aimed at the bus and fired 2 shots in a row. A few seconds later, the bus stopped. The 2 brothers who came home were very scared. They also have their own dreams, but life has to let go of the sheep first. The mother taught them a lesson. Even if you don't love it, you should let the sheep eat enough before you come back. The father came home at night. He brought a major news. A terrorist shot an American tourist. He attacked a tour bus. The mother said there was no terrorist here, but it's hard to say what happened. The smart brother asked the father how to prove that the American was dead. The father said the police were looking for the murderer. The way back was blocked. This is an unknown night. The 2 brothers couldn't sleep in their room. The police tried their best to find 4 shells on the top of the mountain. The place is not big. They quickly locked the owner of the gun. The man was immediately taken by the police. He began to ask why he fired at the bus, but only then did he know he had sold the gun yesterday. Over there, 2 children were delivering sheepskin. They saw a police car driving in the direction of his house. The police came to find the owner of the gun. It's also the father of 2 children. The older brother was so scared that he didn't know what to say. Then the younger brother deliberately told the mother's family that it was far away. We need to go around the mountain in front. After the police car left, the two boys immediately ran home. After returning home, the two people told their father the truth. The older brother said that his younger brother shot the American. The younger brother said that the older brother fired first. They began to blame each other and report to their father. The father taught the two children and their sister, Zula. The father was for the safety of his son, so he took the gun and was ready to take them away from here. The man's gun was given by a Japanese hunter. He also took a photo with the hunter for the police. Just at this time, the police who were fooled came back. The hunter gave the man a meal and took him away. Then the police took the man's wife away. Let him take them to find Adam's house in person. It's still that grave. The police saw the two boys again. The man's wife also recognized that man as Adam. The three people saw the police car and came to speed up, but this is the police's gunpoint. There are only two children and a father on the other side. The older brother thought of his mother. He quickly ran home, but his legs were heavy and he couldn't get up. The father hurried up to help the injured son, and at this time, the younger brother picked up the gun from the ground. He began to fight back. Aim at the gun, aim at the gun. The younger brother shot the police's arm. The father knew that things were getting worse. He grabbed the gun from his son's hand. The older son was shot again. The painful father held his son in his arms. The younger brother was also in tears. He picked up the gun and smashed it. Then he raised his hands and walked down the hill. The younger brother put the gun on himself. It has nothing to do with his brother and father. The boy dared to do it, but what they didn't know was that the passenger was not dead. The police finally solved the case. The so-called terrorist is actually a child. The butterfly effect of the gun is still going on. Susan is recovering in the hospital. Richard called home again because he couldn't find anyone to see the child. Richard asked Amelia's son to cancel the wedding. He will pay for a better one in the future. He needs Amelia to help them take care of the two children. He apologized to his nanny, but he had to do it. After thinking about it, Amelia didn't go home for 6 years. His son's wedding was only once in his life, so he decided to take the two children with him. A gunshot caused bloodshed. Susan was finally taken to a regular hospital. The child who fired the gun was also caught, but the butterfly effect is still going on. Amelia is still behind Richard. She secretly took the two children to her son's wedding. The wedding was very happy. The two children were very happy. It's not as dangerous as their mother said. Amelia also wore a red long dress that she hadn't worn for many years. She hugged her son, who was getting more and more handsome. Day and night, the two children were happy for a whole day, but they have to go home. The son was worried that his brother couldn't drive after drinking. The nephew was driving. He was looking at his aunt and two children. They were going to cross the border. Amelia said she was the nanny of the two children. The police officer checked the passports of the two children. Is there a problem? Is there a big one? Amelia thought her nephew was infuriating the police officer, but it did lead to a more rigorous search. The back of the inspection box, the toolbox, and Amelia's bag. In the end, she asked Amelia for her children's parents' authorization. It seems that she really didn't have this. In the explanation of her nephew, the police officer finally found the problem. That is, the man drank. The police officer asked her to stop by the side immediately, but she was about to stop by the side and step on the accelerator. Passing the checkpoint, the little thing became bigger. The aunt kept persuading her. She blamed her aunt for not bringing them here. The two children cried in the back row. She began to overtake in reverse because the police were chasing behind. She put her children and her aunt in the wilderness. Tell them to get rid of them and then come back to pick them up. This is the Gobi Desert. Many people who steal every year disappear here. The nanny told the two children to stay here and not move. She went to find help. I don't know how far Amelia has gone. Finally met a police car, but the police officer treated her as a criminal. Put on the handcuffs for her. But it's a good thing that Amelia kept begging. The police also believed it. Take her to the place where the children fell, but the two children are gone. She has been taking care of the two children since they were born. Feed them 3 meals a day. Accompany them to play together. There is no difference from Amelia's own child. The butterfly effect of this gun is not over yet. After the police found the owner of the gun, and through the registration of the gun, found that the original owner was a Japanese hunter, then entrusted the Japanese police to investigate. Because Miyako is not at home, the police only found Chieko, Miyako's daughter, that day. I hope to see my father. Let my father call them. But Chieko fell in love with this police officer at first sight. Chieko is a deaf girl because of disability. She can't get the same love as ordinary people, the only one who knows her mother's history. Her father is not at home all year round. A young man who wants to be with her, knows that she is a mute, gave up communicating with her, and got the laugh of a friend. The girl lives in the dark. She began to let go of everything. The doctor who read the news for her, with the young men she just met in the red and blue hall. The smile bloomed to the extreme. However, the boy who is loyal to himself kissed his best friend, her pale face shining through the silent haze. Such a messy life. It's not what she wants. On the way home, she thought of that police officer. So she told her father, ask the police to come to the house. The girl always thought that the police, still investigating the death of her mother, and this time she just wanted to know that gun. But the girl took the opportunity to take off her clothes. She thought that she could never be understood, so she wanted to let go of everything. The police didn't agree to her request in the end. He may understand the girl and sympathize with her. The girl finally felt the warmth of the world after her father came home. In the house of the wolf, he only saw his daughter's clothes, but he didn't see her body. The door of the balcony was open. Then he saw that on the balcony, his daughter was standing there, without clothes. The girl, who was speechless, staggered into her father's arms. She cried for more than 10 years. The lost child at the border was finally rescued, but Amelia was permanently expelled from the border. The police at the border granddaughter. The nanny who took care of the child since they were a child said, "This has nothing to do with you. The movie is over.